The day began like any other. At the bustling airport terminal, families hugged loved ones goodbye. Business travelers scrolled through last minute emails, and children pressed their faces to the glass, marveling at the giant aircraft that would soon carry them through the skies. Flight 914 was scheduled for a long transoceanic journey. To the passengers, it was nothing more than another flight, a vessel of convenience that would deliver them to their destination. But as the boarding doors closed and the engines rumbled to life, none of them could have foreseen that this would be their final ascent. What happened to Flight 914 remains one of the most haunting mysteries of the skies. Takeoff was flawless. The aircraft rose smoothly through a clear morning sky, its silver body glinting in the sunlight. The cabin was alive with chatter. Some passengers ordered coffee, others reclined into their seats, settling in for the hours ahead. In the cockpit, Captain Rehan and his co pilot exchanged light conversation as they monitored their instruments. Years of experience had taught them to respect the skies, but on this day, everything appeared routine. The flight attendants moved gracefully down the aisle, serving drinks, offering warm smiles, and ensuring everyone was comfortable. Children giggled as they flipped through coloring books while a group of friends laughed over shared stories. For all aboard, the journey felt safe and ordinary. Yet far ahead, unseen to anyone, the skies were preparing their own plan. Hours into the flight, the cockpit radar displayed something unusual. Faint patterns flickering at the edge of the screen. At first, it appeared minor, perhaps a passing disturbance, but soon the patterns grew bolder, sharper, forming an ominous wall. A storm, not just a storm, but an enormous system stretching across the very path Flight 914 had to cross. From the cabin windows, passengers began to notice streaks of grey cloud forming on the horizon. The light-hearted mood dimmed slightly as turbulence rattled the trays and sent ripples through cups of water. The captain's calm voice reassured them, explaining that turbulence was normal and nothing to fear. But inside the cockpit, tension thickened. The storm was building faster than expected. It seemed alive, expanding in all directions, blocking every possible diversion. The crew faced a choice: turn back and risk fuel, or push forward through the heart of the storm. They chose forward, entering the storm. The moment Flight 914 penetrated the first wall of clouds, the atmosphere shifted from calm to chaos. Rain hammered against the fuselage with violent force. Lightning illuminated the sky in jagged bursts, momentarily lighting up the terrified faces inside the cabin. Thunder reverberated through the metal body of the plane, each roar louder than the last. The turbulence grew savage. Overhead bins rattled violently, spilling bags into the aisles. Passengers gripped their armrests, knuckles white. Prayers whispered under trembling breaths. In the cockpit, alarms began to scream. Altitude readings wavered. Airspeed indicators fluctuated, and radio contact dissolved into static. The storm's electrical fury was overwhelming the aircraft systems. The captain tightened his grip on the controls, struggling to keep the plane level. Every second felt like a battle against forces far greater than human strength. The engines failed, then came the silence. One engine sputtered, coughed, and went dark. Within seconds, another followed. The once steady roar of propulsion faded into a chilling quiet, interrupted only by the shriek of the wind and the pounding rain. The cockpit was bathed in red warning lights. The co-pilot's voice was sharp with urgency as they worked through emergency checklists. They tried restart procedures, but the storm had crippled their power. In the cabin, oxygen masks dropped suddenly, dangling like ghostly reminders of danger. Screams filled the air as the aircraft shook violently, plunging into a rapid descent. The captain's voice broke through the chaos. Ladies and gentlemen, brace for impact. The aircraft plummeted through the darkness. Lightning revealed snapshots of sheer terror. Mothers clutching their children, travelers with tears streaming down their faces, strangers holding hands in silent solidarity. Every jolt of turbulence threw passengers against their seatbelts. Loose objects flew through the cabin, striking walls and seats. The once lively atmosphere of laughter and chatter was now consumed by cries and prayers. The pilots fought desperately, pulling back on the controls, trying to stabilize. Their training guided every motion, but the storm showed no mercy. Waves loomed below, monstrous and unyielding. The surface of the ocean rose closer with terrifying speed. With one final surge of effort, the crew tried to soften the impact, but the storm had already claimed its victory. A blinding flash, a deafening roar, and then silence. Search and rescue teams were dispatched the moment the flight failed to arrive. Satellites scanned the skies, ships combed the waters, and aircraft circled for days. What they found was heartbreaking. Scattered fragments of wreckage, bits of luggage floating in the waves, and a faint oil slick trailing across the sea. No survivors. The world mourned, families wept in disbelief, clutching photographs and replaying the final goodbyes they never thought would be their last. Aviation experts debated endlessly. Was it an electrical storm, a freak weather anomaly, or something no human could predict? But no conclusion could erase the pain of loss. Legacy of Flight 914. Over time, Flight 914 became more than a tragedy. It became a ghost story of the skies. Pilots whispered of the cursed route, warning new crew members never to underestimate storms. Families of the lost gathered each year, lighting candles, sharing memories, keeping their loved ones alive through stories. And some say, even today, late at night, radio operators hear faint static in the clouds, a broken voice calling out for help, a final transmission lost to time. The passengers and crew of Flight 914 will never be forgotten.